The doors don't slam the way you think they will. That's the first thing. You've seen movies. You've heard the sound effect 1,000 times. That heavy, cinematic clang of steel meeting steel, reverberating through a concrete corridor like a death knell. But when the door closes behind you for the first time, it's almost quiet, almost gentle. A mechanical hiss, a soft, final click. And then the smell hits you. There is no way to describe it to someone who hasn't stood exactly where you're standing. It's industrial cleaning fluid trying to mask something organic, something old, something that has soaked into the walls over decades. It's cafeteria food and metal and stale air recycled through vents that were installed before you were born. It's the accumulated breath of every man who came before you. It's not just a smell, it's a presence. You are here now. That thought doesn't come all at once. It arrives slowly in layers. The way your eyes adjust to a new kind of darkness. You are not on the outside anymore. The world you knew, your street, your car, the particular way afternoon light fell through your kitchen window. That world has not disappeared. It's still out there. It simply no longer includes you. You have been subtracted from it, filed away. The officer in front of you doesn't look at you like you're dangerous. That surprises you. He looks at you the way a DMV worker looks at the next person in line, bored, efficient, practiced. He's processed thousands of men through this exact corridor, and every one of them thought their situation was unique. Every one of them had a story. He's heard the stories. He stopped listening years ago. You follow him. The corridor is long and lit by fluorescent lights that hum at a frequency you feel in your teeth. The floor is polished but old, worn smooth in the center where feet have dragged for decades. On either side there are doors, heavy, numbered, indifferent. Numbers don't care who's behind them. That's the point of numbers. They take your clothes first. This is the moment that separates theory from reality. Before this, some small part of your brain still believed in an exit, a technicality, a phone call that would unravel everything and place you gently back outside. But when you hand over your clothes, the jeans, the shirt, the shoes you laced up that morning, without knowing it would be the last time you did it as a free man, that small part goes quiet. You put on the uniform, and the uniform changes something fundamental, not just how you look, how you are looked at. You are processed. The word is correct and the word is brutal. You are processed. Fingerprints, photograph, height, weight, identifying marks, scars, tattoos, anything the institution needs in order to catalog you. A number is assigned. From this point forward, the number is more official than your name. Your name belongs to the past. The number belongs here. They walk you through intake in a group. There are 7 of you. You don't make eye contact. None of you do. There is an unspoken protocol operating already, some ancient social code that activates the moment men find themselves in this specific situation. And the code says, do not show vulnerability, do not invite attention, do not let anyone see what is happening behind your face. You are each alone in a crowd of people who are each alone. 7 islands wearing the same uniform. The intake officer explains the rules. There are more rules than you imagined. Not just the obvious ones. No violence, no contraband, no unauthorized movement. The rules go deeper, more granular. Where you can stand, when you can speak, how to address staff, the hierarchy of permissions, the system of privileges and consequences that governs every hour of every day. He recites them with the rhythm of someone who has said them so many times they've lost all weight. But you hang on every word because you understand, perhaps for the first time in your life, what it means to have no margin for error. That first night they put you in orientation housing. It's not the main population yet. That comes later. For now, you're in a kind of limbo, a separate unit for new arrivals, a buffer zone between the outside world and the full reality of what waits ahead. The cell is smaller than you pictured. You pictured a room. This is not a room. This is a dimension, a geometry of bare minimum, a cot, a toilet, a sink, a shelf, 4 walls that don't apologize for being exactly what they are, You sit on the edge of the cot and stare at the wall across from you. There is a mark on the wall. Someone scratched something into the paint years ago, probably, and it was painted over, but the impression survived, the ghost of it still visible under the surface. You can't tell what it said. Maybe a name, maybe a number, maybe something that mattered enormously to one person and means absolutely nothing to anyone who came after. That's how memory works in a place like this. Layered, buried, present but illegible. You think about the people who love you. This is the hardest part of the first night, and no one warns you about it because there's no way to warn someone about a specific kind of pain they haven't felt yet. You think about faces, you think about voices, you think about conversations you ended too quickly, meals you didn't pay enough attention to, ordinary afternoons you spent annoyed about things that now seem so precious they're almost unbearable to remember. You think about what it means to have taken the small architecture of your daily life completely for granted. You don't sleep much. When morning comes, it comes on the institution's schedule, not yours. There is no gradual waking, no gentle consciousness floating up through warm water. There is the sound of the facility activating. Doors, voices, announcements, the metallic rhythm of a system coming online. You are part of the system. Now, the system doesn't wait for you to be ready. Breakfast is in the cafeteria. The cafeteria has its own language, its own physics. Where you sit matters. How you carry your tray matters. Whether you look at someone too long or not long enough matters. None of this is written down. All of it is understood. The men who have been here for months, for years, move through the space with a confidence that looks almost casual, almost free. They've mapped the unwritten rules completely, made peace with the geometry of the place. You are new. Your newness is visible. You feel it radiating off you like heat. You find a table. You eat. You watch. Watching is what you do in the beginning because you are trying to build a map, not a physical map. You'll learn the physical layout quickly enough. You're building a social map, a behavioral map, an invisible atlas of how this world operates, who holds authority, who moves carefully around whom. What the silences mean, what the eye contact means, what the particular way someone tilts their chin means. You are learning a language that has no dictionary. During the first week, you meet your caseworker. She is a woman in her 40s who has worked here for 16 years. She has a professional distance that is not unkindness. It's armor, accumulated slowly, the same way the institution has accumulated everything else. She explains your program. The word program sounds almost optimistic, like something you signed up for. She lays out what the coming months will look like. Work assignments, educational opportunities, behavioral expectations. She asks if you have questions. You have thousands. You ask too. The chaplain comes by orientation housing on Thursdays. He's a soft-spoken man who has made his peace with the gap between what he believes and what he sees every day. He doesn't preach. He sits. He asks questions and listens to the answers in a way that almost nobody else in this building does. Listening is rare here. Most communication is instruction. One party transmitting, the other receiving. The chaplain is different. You don't know what to make of him, so you watch him the way you're watching everything, trying to understand what category he belongs to. By the second week, you are moved to general population. This is a different gravity. General population is the actual world inside the world. It has neighborhoods, economies, social hierarchies, old grievances and alliances that predate your arrival by years. Men have histories here, reputations, arrangements. You arrive without any of that, which means you arrive as a question mark. Question marks are not neutral. They need to be resolved. The first man who speaks to you in general population is not threatening. That surprises you. You prepared yourself, or tried to, for an immediate confrontation, some test you'd have to pass or fail in the first moments. But the first man who speaks to you is simply curious. He's been here 4 years. He has a particular stillness about him, the kind that only comes from having learned through experience that agitation costs more than it's worth. He asks where you're from. You tell him. He nods. He tells you 3 things about how this specific unit works, and all 3 things turn out to be true and important. That's not friendship, but it's something. You learn to walk differently. This is something nobody talks about from the outside, but inside, it becomes obvious within days. You learn a specific kind of movement, deliberate, aware, calibrated, not aggressive, not fearful, neutral, readable as calm. Your body becomes a communication device, and you program it consciously the way you never had to program it before. On the outside, your body just moved. Here it speaks. The nights are the longest. Lights out is not silence. The facility never achieves silence, not completely. There are always sounds. The ambient noise of a building containing hundreds of people and thousands of pounds of metal. Infrastructure, ventilation, distant voices, footsteps, the particular, acoustic quality of sound traveling through concrete and steel. You lie on your cot in the dark and the sounds become a kind of company, strange, impersonal company, but present. You count days without meaning to. It starts happening automatically, the way hunger happens. You wake up and the first coherent thought is a number. Some men count up, marking how many they've survived. Some count down, measuring the distance to something that waits on the other side. Both methods are a way of insisting on time, of refusing to let the institution collapse. The days into a single, undifferentiated grey mass. You find a rhythm. This is the thing that saves you, or begins to. Not hope exactly. A hope is too fragile a structure to build your days on, but rhythm. The same way water over rock creates form through repetition, you create form. Through repetition, wake, breakfast, work assignment, lunch, rec time, dinner, evening, sleep, the schedule is imposed from outside, but you begin to inhabit it differently, to find within its constraints the small decisions that belong entirely to you. What you read, what you think about, how you spend the 15 minutes before. Lights out. You write a letter. The act of writing a letter is something you haven't done in years. Actual paper, actual pen. The physicality of it is strange and then comforting. You have to think slowly. You can't delete. Every word commits. You write to someone you love, and you try to tell them something true, but you realize partway through that the truest things don't have words yet. They're still forming. They're still becoming whatever they'll eventually be. You send it anyway. By the end of the first month, you know things you didn't know before. You know how to read a room before you enter it. You know how to hear what isn't said. You know the difference between a man performing strength and a man who has actually found it. You know that time has texture, that some hours are heavier than others, that some silences contain more than some conversations. You know that human beings adapt to almost anything. And you're not sure whether that's a testament to resilience or a quiet horror, maybe both. You know that the walls don't care about you, and you know that the men behind the walls, most of them, do. Not all, not unconditionally, but there is a specific kind of recognition that happens between people who are surviving the same thing, a language of shared experience that requires no explanation. You are part of something now despite yourself, something you never would have chosen, something you may spend the rest of your life trying to understand, but something that is now permanently part of your architecture. At night in the dark, when the sounds of the facility rise and fall around you. Like breathing, you think about the door, not to escape it. You've made peace with the door. You think about what comes after it. You think about the version of yourself who will walk back through it one day. Older, altered, carrying things that don't have names yet. You wonder if the people waiting on the other side will be able to see what happened to you. You wonder if you'll be able to explain it. You wonder if explanation is even the right goal, or if some experiences are meant to be carried quietly, like stones in a pocket, their weight a private reminder of something you survived. The door is still there. It was there when you arrived, and it will be there when you leave. Between then and now, there is only this, the slow daily work of remaining. Yourself inside a system designed to process you into something else. The quiet insistence of your own name, the letters you write, the books you read, the rhythm you build. From nothing, in a space that gives you almost nothing to build with. You close your eyes. The fluorescent hum continues. Tomorrow will come on the institution's schedule, and you will be ready.